Hello, music lovers. It's your girl, Corina Avalos, your music and radio plug with Up in the Mix presents Heavy on the Honey. Today, we're chopping it up with my boy Squints. He also has a podcast. I got something to say, and hopefully he's got a lot to tell us today. Welcome,
Sure.
Squints.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of
It's a pleasure to be
course.
here.
Well, I'm so glad we finally got to link up. Oh, thank you. I'm a fan too. Content creators, unite.
Yeah,
Podcast
sure.
Nation.
I'm all about unity.
I know that our first meetup,
Mhm.
I could pick that up right away. You were very open to, chopping it up with me about everything under the sun.
Sure.
And it was just a natural conversation. So
Mhm.
I was like, okay, we got to have him on.
Dope. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. And you just got back from tour.
Yeah, first stop on tour. I'm on tour right now as like a sound engineer, DJ, host for artists named King Ego and Joe Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
They're local. They're killing it right now. Yeah, we're on the road making noise. The first stop was just literally.
Right.
We're home for a few days and back up.
And so that's why we're blessed to be able to have him today and help us with learning a little bit more about the podcasting space and the music industry in general, because you also historically have released music as an artist.
I had. Once upon a time, I did.
Yeah. And so what was that era like for you?
That was a whole different. I'm OG. So I was releasing music from 99 to about 2012, probably. Solid. And then that's when I kind of just stopped being an artist and focused on other avenues, so to speak. But yeah, a lot. I went really hard for a long time and then had kids.
I feel like that is a crazy, just even the timeline that you mentioned, 99 to 2012. What was that progression for technology when it came to the music releases?
Night
And seeing
and
that, yeah.
Night and day. I used to find artists by going online to like all like these online DJ sites that would they would promote like leaked material or upcoming mixtapes that would premiere early or something. And of course you had like Dat Piff and like all these mixtape outlets that were available. But I was always the guy that was like so into, I wanted to find new artists and listen to new music. I hated being on like the same with everybody else.
Right.
So I would always go there just for like, to build my like listening library, not alone, but submitting music. That was the thing. There was no physical CDs. That used to be a thing out the trunk with physical copies. That was all before digital downloads and distribution. I mean, everything. YouTube, you could only submit 3 to 5 minutes. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 3 minutes at first. And then after a while, they upped it to 5-minute submissions. But it was not what it is now. I mean, a kid can record an album on his phone, shoot a music video on his phone, and upload it on his phone. We all watch it on our phones. It's just a whole different game now.
Yeah. No, and that's true. I mean, and obviously like you being an artist first, starting the journey in entertainment as such, and then now, being on the other end where you're the journalist and interviewing, picking their brains. I'm sure it's got to be interesting to see.
I think it paved the way for what I do now, though. It really did, because I have an artist perspective, because I had some pretty good moments as an artist. Like I wasn't just like trying to make things happen a lot. Like we had a few certain things happen during my career that were, they're experiences. I'm thankful for that and everything else. But when I started rapping, you got to say, like I said, 99, 2000, that's when Eminem was brand new. Being a white rapper was kind of like a rare thing.
Yeah.
And being a white rapper from Nashville, other than My Got Jelly, that was an extremely rare thing. And like Haystack, there was just a handful. But the more it became like, everybody makes music. What I mean? Is the way I see it. But to be able to be an artist first and then develop into what I am now, I guess, like you said, a content creator, or podcast host, it's been interesting. But I definitely think being an artist first kind of gave me a better perspective of the person I'm talking to in most cases. You know what I mean? Whether if they're in the music industry, I've got some sense of what they do and how they do it, so to speak. I guess.
Right. And so was that how the natural progression of moving over to podcasting, how you were able to unite with other artists that have released music like Chad, and that's how the platform was cultivated?
Well, the way shout out Chad Arms, ChadArmsTV.com, that's the move. But Chad and me were both artists. I met Chad in 2006. We have a company together now existing to this day. He is CEO and I'm co-CEO of a company named Show Improve Entertainment. We've been established in 2006. But the day I met Chad, I've been rocking with him ever since. And so he was with me through a lot of years as being an artist. We've made tons of music together, etc. All while in my professional job, because I mean I've always been a struggling artist like most, you know what I mean? So I still work full time. And it just so happened my career was through digital printing and marketing. So for a long time, other than being a rapper, you know, at a young age and in Nashville through that type era, I was able to have a profession that provided flyers for clubs, mixtapes, covers for people's CDs or their promo flyers where they need banners for a concert. So I was able to build so many relationships with artists I wouldn't normally work with because they would call me because they heard I can give them the mixtape inserts for them to give out at the club that weekend or the flyers. So
to hear mixtape inserts
in a
sentence is insane.
Man.
You just unlocked
ain't that wild? But that's what it was then.
Yeah, I remember.
And when I was I'm still in that profession today. But at the same time, printing physical copies of things was like a necessity. And I was able to build so many relationships just off that to where that person would probably learn that I made music or maybe when they came to pick them up, they're like, oh, damn, you're that. I've seen you. You know what I mean? Like they connect 1 and 2. But I was able to build those past relationships for coming through in clutch with people that needed shit printed or can I cuss?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God, yes.
That kind of put me in a position to later down the road when I started the pod to, we've always been making music here. Like me and Chad go so far back and we've so many great relationships, collaborations and events we've been a part of. Starting a pod just made so much sense. Everybody's always told me I should have been on the radio just with my voice. So then when I got tired of rapping because everybody else rapped, I had that creative thing. I had to do something.
Yeah.
So I picked up a camera and started a pod.
Yeah. And I mean, it's doing really well.
Yeah, we hit our 300th. When we're recording this, I don't know when this comes out, but when we are recording this, our 300th episode is about to premiere this week, which is insane to me.
You know that most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes, which is insane. And I mean, you don't realize it does take a lot of work. You have to dedicate the time. You have to edit. You do the audio. You have to get the guests, or depending on what it is that you are doing. But for us, we're in the entertainment space, we're the music space specifically for me, and having to, I guess, kind of coordinate with a guest that I am curious to pick their brain is kind of daunting, but luckily the universe has taken care of me and people have just come my way and I'm so beyond grateful for that. So I'm sure that's the same with you.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It just continues to, like I said, the 300 episodes, that's a lot. And when it's real easy to say you want to start a podcast.
Yes.
And you hear so many people say it. I'm sure some of your friends, my friends have said it, or they'll even call me and have that conversation like, hey, I need to start another show or do this or that. But I'm self-taught. You know what I mean? When I had that initial saying where I was like, hey, I want to start a podcast. Well, first thing you gotta do is name it.
Right.
So I had to come up with the name. Then I need a logo. And the self-investment thing really wasn't a thing at the time. So I wanted to learn how to make my own logo. Did that. And then, I'm like, how do I shoot this? Webcam don't work. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like just all these trial and error things, trying to figure it out, but all self-taught, everything.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference between people that want and people that go for it.
Sure.
Yeah. Cause we all start from zero. So
true.
And you're exactly right. The self-investment, especially since you're kind of like a pioneer. So nowadays, we do have those freelance services available. You could hire somebody
absolutely
to do the logo. You could hire an audio guy. I hire my video and audio people sometimes when it just seems efficient for me, where I'm like, I just know what my plate it looks like. Sure. It looks pretty full, but I still have that hunger to do something in podcasting. So, I invest in myself. And so far as I think I'm receiving my ROI, and I'm not mad at it, but it's just not feasible for everybody. Sure. So, for us to be in this space and for you to continue to want to keep learning, I think has been fundamental in your success too.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still chasing. I still work.
Yeah. And that's the ambitious side of us where, we will acknowledge our success, but we're like, okay, but we are still trying to keep going. Like, right.
Yeah. It's been a fun ride. Everything I do, everything you guys, anybody that ever sees me, if you see me, however I'm affiliated with what you see got going, I'm like happy I'm there, if that makes sense. And I put myself in a position where I don't really have to be a part of things I don't want to be. Right. So we just keep our foot on the gas. We keep working. Our motto at the show is all we do is work. I mean, this is exactly, we've said it every intro for 300 episodes. That's almost 4 years every Friday. We dropped a pot. We used to do 2 a week when we first started, but that was way too much.
Yeah.
That was during my obsessive stage. That's when I was like, no, it's not enough. We got to keep going. We put out 2 a week, and that was crazy.
I mean, once a week that's sufficient.
Right.
Yeah.
But after 3, it took me 300 to get up to where 1 a week is even like, again, self-taught. And I do all the editing. I do all the graphics, the layouts, the overlays, everything. I do everything start to finish. So again, I work full time. I shoot videos. I design. I'm on the road. I'm a father. So I do all these things. I'm constantly just juggling. It's my favorite emoji to send people is the juggling guy. But, the 1 a week is feasible now because I can luckily maintain it. So even if like me and you shot one right now, I can still get it out Friday morning 10 a.m.
Yeah. Which is amazing.
Yeah, but it used to not be like that. That's what I'm saying. Like it used to be a completely different process. If you look at episode 1 of I Got Some Shit to Say and then go to episode 299, it's just the best example of progression or consistency that you will ever have.
How do you, because this is actually also coming from me being curious on this, since this is something I'm noticing I'm struggling with. How do you keep yourself accountable even when you just don't feel good? Like, not necessarily in like the illness, but like mentally in the space to be like, you have a lot of stuff going on in your personal life, work life too. Because, I also work too. I'm in the music industry, doing business things, but sometimes you just don't feel like it. But if you don't do it, no one else is going to do it. And obviously the successful people are consistent. So what's some advice that you have so that you keep yourself accountable and also with looking at the glass half full instead of half empty?
Yeah. It happened. I get tired, man. I'm you know what I'm saying? And to your point, like it's real easy to say like, I'll edit that later or I'll review that later or take that out of that episode or, like sit back, turn the TV on or take a nap or something. You know what I mean? It's real easy to do that, but I'm not going to start on the next thing until I finish what I'm hitting pause on mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as far as like continuing to work, like as far as the pod goes, I'm going to go all the time, but it's only because over the 300 that we've done, I've learned that that's like my space. It's my safe space. I can no matter how bad it is at work or what we're juggling with the music or any of that with Show Improve or on the road or scheduling or any of that. As soon as I sit down and start talking again in front of that camera, it makes me, I don't know. Like when my dad passed away. My dad recently passed away probably like a year and a half ago. Crushed me. I recorded 2 pods that same day. Because it got me out of that space. It really did. I was crushed. And I called my best friend, Chad Arms, my other 2 homies, Leroy Biggs and O&E. They came to the house. We recorded 2 podcasts and it took me to a place, I won't ever forget that day specifically because that's when I learned that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and that, you can't replace that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, my deepest condolences.
Thanks.
I think that...
Yeah, R.I.P. Pops.
Yes, R.I.P. But, obviously he raised a good man. And so you can only honor him by continuing to, live in alignment with those values and persevering and, showing up. Like that is so incredibly hard.
Sure.
So now I'll always remember this whenever I want to be a little bee and not because like I get upset about something that today might feel like such a detrimental big thing that in the long scheme of things is going to be a little blip in my life because that's a big thing, losing your parents, somebody that was there from the moment you took your first breath to, being in the age that you are. I don't know how old you are, but you don't have to disclose.
Really old.
Young at heart. Always and forever. Because, come on. You just literally were on tour. You came here, and here we are shooting this pod.
Yeah. Always working.
Yeah.
All we do is work.
Yeah. Definitely.
But it wasn't, I don't know. I have to look like the date my father passed and where we were, like episode wise, to give you like how comfortable I was doing the pod at that time. Right. It was at our old studio, so I give a little bit of a timeline to it, but I need to look when that was because I'm telling you, it wasn't until that day is when I realized the value of this type space. Like I don't go to therapy regularly. I don't take medication for any kind of disorder some therapist may give me if I ever decide to go to a therapist or see a psychiatrist or whatever. But I learned that talking just, even if it's just about music or whatever the fuck's going on, it's just, that's what gets me there. That's what gives me that release. And like I said, it wasn't until that day. And it probably wasn't until like 100 plus. Like, you know what I mean? We were pretty far in when it came to the pod when Pops passed away. But that was when I like really got a eye-opening thing. I couldn't believe that was the first thing I wanted to do. I thought it was just the homies coming over to support me. You know what I mean? Just go in the garage and smoke a couple of blunts. Nah, it was way more than that. Like, let's hit record, let's work, let's get back to work because we're all still spinning.
Yeah. I guess to that, for us, it's like really a huge day for us when the day we lose our parents.
Sure.
But the fact that you had a community around you, it really does take a village to help keep you up from that dark space they're going to find you.
Absolutely.
And not to allow you to remain there. Mm-hmm. And for you to, to remind you that you have to come out into the sun. And eventually, I don't believe in the saying that it gets better. I just think you learn how to manage.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I don't believe it gets better either. No. It's still there. That's you know what I mean? Like, ain't on the way. But it's like back to, circle back to your question when you're like, find the motivation to do things certain days or whatever. I don't know. I'm chasing that feeling again where it's just like where I know I realize like that's a perfect example when I realize what I'm doing is for something. It may have just been that day. It was for me. You know what I mean? But I don't know. When you sit still, and I say the world keeps spinning, if you're sitting still, it's gonna spin right around. Yeah. Like I'm trying to get out here and make as much content, and if something was to happen to me when I left here today, I know my kids can look at 500 plus hours of the dopest podcast I could have done over the course of 4 years of my life.
Right.
Right. Now this may not be the best footage for me to put in front of them, but it's there. It's there forever. As long as YouTube.com works, that shit's up there. So, it ain't totally for nothing. They might not appreciate it yet, but it's never gonna stop. All we do is work, with or without it. Like it doesn't matter. Like we've never stopped continuing to grow since 2006. The pod was put into it 4 years ago, but same with the pod. The pod numbers just keep going. Guests keep getting better. Like phone still rings for requests of appearances and shit. Like it ain't for nothing. It's all progression. But I do think one day it's gonna be a light switch and we're out of here. Yeah. Stratosphere.
Who would be some dream guests that you
Adam 22.
Adam 22?
1,000,000%.
I could see that.
I'd love to talk to that guy. He's DM'd me before, but I've never got to speak to him. I'd love to talk
I think that's doable.
Right? It'll happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that he doesn't really do podcasts, but he should.
Yeah, he definitely should. He'll do it on his platform. Like, he'll let his guests like sort of throw questions back at him. But I would love to have him.
No, I think that's definitely, we're going to put that out in the universe for you.
It's out there already.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out Adam Linton. I think that would be a dope interview.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think that you guys could definitely discuss like the projection of both of your guys' careers because, you were an artist. And from what I gather, I think he tried to do like to rap or something.
I think so. I know he wrote BMX for a while.
Yeah, right. But I don't think that it was to the degree that you did.
Right.
But you guys both have platforms that uplift the rap scene here in Nashville. Mm-hmm. His is more like, underground across the board, but I guess yours is underground too in a degree.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're definitely underground.
Because you put me on to people I don't know, which I love. I do love and appreciate.
Which I love. That's my favorite thing to do is put people on to new artists. But I've learned of a couple artists through your platform already. Hell, I met somebody on the fucking parking lot.
Yeah, right before you came up. Yeah. Introduce him to my previous guest, Asaph. She's amazing.
That's her.
But I am so grateful for you to come by and for being patient with me. Yeah. I know that I had you waiting a little bit. My apologies, but
all good.
I appreciate you, and I only wish you nothing but continued success.
Same.
And for us to stay connected and, please, link up a little bit more, because the last time I saw you was, I don't know, a couple months back.
Yeah, that's your fault. Not mine.
That's my fault. Yes, this is the truth.
You got to pull up for the show.
I definitely will. I would just let
We've talked about it a few times, even off camera, but we need to make that happen, especially now that I've been here. I really appreciate it. I don't sit down with a lot of people on their platform, to say the least. But if you guys look over 300 episodes, there's a lot of people that's been on my platform.
Listen, I'm always happy to chop it up wherever, but more importantly, I'm honored to have you here at Heavy on the Honeys.
Heavy on the Honeys.
Heavy on the Honeys podcast. This is your girl, Corina Avalos, your music and radio plug with Up in the Mix.